Hi, everyone, and welcome back to English for Real Life, the podcast where we help you speak naturally, confidently, and without fear.
Hi everyone, if you enjoy learning practical English in a simple and relaxed way, make sure you follow the channel and share this episode with someone who is also learning English.
Yes, and today's episode is going to be very interesting because we are talking about 3 small words that create big confusion.
Very big confusion.
Where, when, and how.
Simple words, but very powerful in real conversations. Before we start, Tom, where did you go last weekend?
Oh, last weekend, honestly, I planned to stay at home and relax, but I ended up going out with friends and staying out much longer than I expected.
That doesn't sound like a quiet weekend.
It wasn't, but it was fun.
Did you hear that, everyone?
Uh-oh, what did I say?
You just used where naturally.
Oh no, I walked into that one.
Yes, you did, but that's perfect because today we're going to understand how these words work in real life, not just grammar rules.
Let's begin with something simple. Imagine this situation. I ask you, where do you live?
And I answer, I live in a small city.
So here, where is used to ask about place.
Where equals place. Very simple idea.
If I say, where are you going?
You can answer, I'm going to the store, or I'm going home.
Many learners say something like, where you are going.
Yes, very common. Incorrect. Correct is, where are you going? Let's make it more real. Friend 1 says, where did you meet your best friend?
Friend 2 answers, I met my best friend at school. See how natural that is?
Where do you usually go when you want to relax?
I usually go somewhere quiet where I can sit and think because I need time to slow down after a busy day.
That sounds peaceful.
Sometimes I just go to my bed.
That also works.
Now let's move to when.
Yes, this word is about time.
When do you wake up?
I usually wake up early, but sometimes I sleep a little longer. Some learners say, when you wake up.
Incorrect. Correct is, when do you wake up? When did you start learning English?
I started learning English a few years ago when I realized how important it is. Friend 1 says, when is your meeting?
Friend 2 says, my meeting is at 3 p.m. When do you feel the most relaxed?
I feel the most relaxed in the evening when everything is quiet and I finally have time to rest.
Yes, evenings feel different.
Now let's talk about how.
This word helps us talk about the way something happens.
How equals method or feeling. How do you learn English every day?
I learn English by listening, repeating, and speaking as much as I can. Some learners say, how you learn English.
Incorrect. And correct is, how do you learn English?
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good, but a little tired.
How do you stay positive when things are difficult?
I try to stay positive by reminding myself that every problem will pass.
Now, let's mix all 3 words in one conversation.
Yes, real life situation.
2 friends are planning a weekend. Where do you want to go?
I don't know. Anywhere quiet is fine. When do you want to go?
Maybe Saturday morning. How do you want to travel?
I'd like to travel by car because it's more comfortable.
See how naturally they appear in conversation?
Now let's fix common mistakes.
Where you live is incorrect. The correct one is,
Where do you live?
when will you come is incorrect. The correct one is,
When will you come?
how you feel is incorrect. The correct one is,
How do you feel?
where is you going is incorrect. The correct one is,
Where are you going?
when you did start is incorrect. The correct one is,
When did you start?
how you did learn is incorrect. The correct one is,
How did you learn?
let's bring everything together naturally. Where do you see yourself in the future?
I see myself in a place where I feel calm and happy.
When do you feel most confident speaking English?
When I stop thinking too much and just speak.
How can learners improve faster?
By practicing every day and not being afraid of mistakes.
You know, Carol, I remember something embarrassing.
Oh no, what happened?
One time, I wanted to ask someone about their home, and I said, "Where you live?"
Oh, classic mistake.
Yes, and the person just looked at me like, "What?"
Because in English, we need the helper verb.
Right, so the correct sentence is, "Where do you live?"
Exactly. That small word do makes a big difference.
And without it, the sentence feels incomplete.
Okay, let's try something fun.
I'm ready. I might make mistakes again.
That's perfect. That's how we learn. Sentence 1, where you are going.
That sounds wrong.
Yes. Can you fix it?
Where are you going?
Perfect.
Ah, so we switch the order.
Yes. In questions, the verb comes before the subject. Next one, when you wake up.
Okay, I think, when do you wake up?
Very good.
I'm getting better.
Slowly but surely. Let's imagine a real situation.
Okay,
You are in a new city,
yes.
and you need help.
I say, excuse me, where is the train station?
Very natural. And if I want more detail, I can ask, how can I get there?
That's perfect.
And maybe, when does the train leave?
Wow, you used all 3 words.
Exactly. That's how they work together in real life.
Okay, quick challenge for everyone listening.
Yes, think before we answer.
Question. Blank, do you sleep?
The answer is, where do you sleep?
Good. Next. Blank, do you go to work?
How do you go to work?
By bus, by car, by train?
Exactly.
You know, Carol, many learners are afraid to ask questions,
That's true.
especially with words like where, when, and how.
Yes, I remember feeling nervous.
Me too. Sometimes I knew the answer, but I didn't speak.
Because we are afraid of making mistakes.
But mistakes are part of learning.
Exactly. Every mistake is progress.
Let's build a small story.
Okay, I like stories.
Imagine you meet someone new.
Okay.
First question, where did you meet?
We met at a cafe.
Next, when did you meet?
We met last weekend.
And finally, how did you meet?
We met through a friend.
See, 3 simple questions.
But they create a full story. Now let's repeat the structure.
Yes, repetition helps memory.
Where do you live? Where do you work? Where do you study? Where do you relax?
Same structure, different meaning.
That's how you build fluency.
Okay, let me try one.
Go ahead.
Where do you people eat pizza?
That's a good question.
Important question.
Very important.
The answer is everywhere. Let's combine everything again.
Yes.
Where did you go yesterday?
I went to the park.
When did you go?
In the evening.
How did you get there?
I walked.
Simple, clear, natural.
Now it's your turn.
Yes, don't just listen.
Pause this episode and answer, where do you study? When do you study? How do you study?
Say your answers out loud.
Or write them in the comments.
Practice makes progress.
You see, Carol, these small words are very powerful.
Yes, they help you ask better questions and have real conversations.
And when you use them naturally, your English feels more confident.
Absolutely. So now the big question is,
How can learners improve faster?
by practicing every day and not being afraid of mistakes. Before we finish, let's summarize in a simple way. Where equals place. When equals time. How equals method or feeling.
If you remember just these ideas, you are already improving your English.
And more importantly, use them in real conversations.
Don't just listen, speak.
Pause this episode and try your own sentences.
Talk to yourself, talk to a friend, or even talk to a mirror.
English improves through use, not memorization.
If this episode helped you, share it with someone who is learning English.
And write one sentence with where, one with when, and one with how.
We love seeing your progress. See you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.